Good day, everyone. I'm Jamie, one of the reporters of Module 5, and my report will focus on the interdisciplinary models and theories for public will, particularly the mass communication and social perception, social capital, and social marketing. So, let's begin with mass communication and social perception. Alam niyo ba dati, iniisip ng mga tao na baka hindi naman ganun ka-powerful ang media in shaping the perception of the public. But then, scholars started asking new questions, digging deeper into how media shapes public perception. And because of this, lumitaw yung mga bagong theories. And two of those theories are the agenda setting and the spiral of silence. And itong dalawang konseptong to, ito yung nagpapaliwanag kung bakit may mga issues na laging nasa headlines, habang yung mga iba hindi naman masyado napapansin, and kung bakit may mga ibang tao na very confident when they speak out, habang yung mga iba naman tahimik lang. So, moving on, napapansin nyo ba na may mga certain issues na talagang pinag-uusapan, tapos may mga ibang issues naman na hindi masyadong nabibigyan ng pansin? That's agenda setting. Sabi nga ng political scientist na si Bernard Cohen, the media may not tell us what to think, but they tell us what to think about. Meaning the media controls which topics get attention and which ones don't, making some issues appear more urgent or important than others. And itong konseptong to, this became the foundation of the agenda setting theory. The agenda setting theory was developed by Maxwell McCombs and Donald Shaw. And meron itong three levels. The first one is the public agenda setting, how media coverage influences what issues the public considers important. So the more the media talks about a certain issue, the more important people think it is. Pangalawa, policy agenda setting, how media attention to issues influences government and policy decisions. So the politicians, they tend to focus on issues that get heavy media coverage. And finally, media agenda setting, how media organizations decide which issues to highlight in their coverage. Take for example, noong administrasyon ni Rodrigo Duterte, naging sentro ng usap-usapan yung war on drugs dahil sa extensive media coverage din ito. And the way the media framed the issue, it influenced the public opinion. Now, let's talk about something that I think the majority of us has experienced, the fear of speaking or expressing our opinions because it's unpopular at natatakot tayo mabash. Dito na pumapasok yung spiral of silence theory, which was introduced by Elizabeth Noel Newman. So the idea is simple. People want to fit in. Gusto nating makibagay. Kung pakiramdam natin na our opinion is unpopular, mas pipiliin nating manahimik lang. Pero kung tingin naman natin nasa majority tayo, mas magiging vocal tayo and confident to speak out. And over time, dominant opinions become louder while opposing ones fade into the background. And malaki yung papel ng media dito because the media shapes what we think is socially acceptable. Siguro, with this, pwede natin gamitin yung martial law as an example. During the martial law era under Ferdinand Marcos, many Filipinos hesitated to express their dissent due to the fear of government retaliation, even if they disagreed with the administration. And more recently, social media has amplified these effects. Marami ng tao, they are hesitant to express their opposing views on political issues due to online backlash or yung tinatawag nga natin na cancel culture. And the rise of trolls and fake news makes it even harder for unpopular opinions to thrive. And this is crucial pagdating sa mga public will campaigns kasi if an issue seems widely supported, people are more likely to speak up and take action. If it appears unpopular, even the strong supporters, mananahimik na lang yan. Moving on to our next point, we have social capital. Lean 2001 defines it as an investment in social relation with expected returns in the marketplace. Simple lang yung konsepto ng social capital. It's the power of relationships. It's not about what you know, it's about who you know and how you will take advantage of those connections to create change. Dito sa Philippines, I think social capital is deeply embedded in our culture because of our culture of bayanihan. Very evident to pag may mga sakuna, 'di ba? Yung mga kababayan natin. And I've also seen this with some of the people I personally know. They really take advantage of their personal networks to mobilize resources and deliver aid faster. Minsan mas mga bilis pa nga kaysa sa official government channels. And that shows no that change happens not because of money or power but because of networks. Sa public will campaigns, mahalagang gamitin ang social capital because people are more likely to support causes they feel connected to. And here's how campaigns can activate it. Una, engage communities. Don't just talk at people, involve them sa process. And then strengthen informal networks. Leverage churches, schools, and yung mga friend groups natin to spread awareness. And find win-win solutions. Build relationships where everyone benefits. Moving on, Lynn also identifies four key ways social capital strengthens public will. Nandyan yung communication and education. Nakakatulong yung mga social networks in spreading useful and important information that people might not otherwise access. Influence and power. Some people have more influence because of their status or connections. For example, yung mga ibang religious leaders, they are able to influence yung pananaw ng mga members nila by endorsing a specific issue. Next is credential and networking. Mas nagiging credible yung isang tao at organization na may malakas na network, kaya easier for them to gain supporters. And next is reinforcing awareness. Social networks help keep issues visible over time so they don't fade from public concern. Now, let's move on to my last topic, social marketing. Social marketing is using commercial marketing techniques to solve social problems with the goal of changing behaviors. That's from Andreessen 1995. So unlike traditional marketing which aims to sell products, social marketing it focuses on influencing people's decision for public good. And unlike other models, social marketing is not a theory, but rather a mindset. It prioritizes understanding people's needs rather than just promoting a message. And it is also a process. It involves it involves strategically adjusting different factors known as the 4 Ps to encourage change. And I'm sure all of us are already familiar with the 4 Ps. And one example is the WIC Breastfeeding Promotion Project, the special supplemental nutrition program for women, infants, and children aimed to increase breastfeeding rates among low-income mothers. So, based kasi sa research, ilan sa mga pangunahing hadlang sa breastfeeding ay yung hiya at conflict sa lifestyle. And to overcome this, gumamit ng social marketing techniques itong campaign na to address it. So, for the price, binawasan yung emotional cost by normalizing breastfeeding. For place, focus change efforts in key location where mothers could be reached. For promotion, gumamit ng media campaigns, community-based outreach, peer counseling, and advocacy to shift social attitudes. However, may mga limitasyon din ang social marketing. Una dyan, not all social marketing campaigns focus on public will. May mga campaigns na nakafocus lang sa individual behaviors at hindi na-address yung mas malalaking issue tulad ng policy and social structures. Pangalawa, limited funding compared to commercial marketing. Alam nyo ba na companies like McDonald's and Coca-Cola spend more in a day than many health organizations can raise in a year for marketing? And then we also have philosophical differences between commercial and social marketing. A business may ignore consumers who aren't interested in a product. However, a social marketer must target resistant individuals kahit na mababa yung return of investment. Social marketing is a powerful tool for behavior change and can support both individual and social level transformation. However, its effectiveness in mobilizing public will depend on how well it is integrated into larger community and policy initiatives. So, as we wrap up, mass media shapes what we think about. It also influences whether we speak up or stay silent. Social connection can make or break a movement. And marketing strategies can be used for social good. So, if we want to create real change, we need to understand how media, perception, and relationships work together, whether that's advocating for environmental action, public health, or social justice. Leveraging these tools can turn a small idea into a powerful movement. Thank you all for listening and have a great week.